It's in the bottom right-hand corner. You see that map? Ooh, what is this? Engraved Ring of Healing. I will take that. You now have a magic menu where you can see all of your power spells and magic items. Like all menus, right-click to use your new menu and press Q to ready your active magic, then click to cast. Q. Q, Q. Macbigicekeys here with The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I played for about an hour just to get familiar with the game, and that's what will follow this little intro here. This is a game that I missed along the way. I did play Oblivion, I believe I did at some point. Morrowind is just one that I missed, and I hear that it's great. I've also played Skyrim, and of course, The Elder Scrolls Online. So I'm interested in it, and so far I've enjoyed what I've encountered. It's going to be a fairly thorough playthrough where I'm reading things and looking at things. So that's kind of my play style. I'm also working on retraining my voice. I've had some issues over the last few years with my throat and all that. So please bear with me as if I happen to clear my throat and it gets caught on the mic or something. But let's jump into it. My goal is to play an orc. Right now, these things change over time, but if you've watched some of my other gameplay, um, through various games, I tend to lean toward the two-handed larger weapons as my preference. So we're going to do that. And as a backup, I have him as a melee hand-to-hand unarmored. So we'll see how that goes with this. I kind of want to play a non-magic user in this game because I've heard just through whispers here and there over time that magic is a little OP in this game. So we'll see how it goes. Who knows? This might totally flip on its head, and after a few hours of playing, I might change my mind and want to go full magic with my melee build. But we'll see how it goes. So onward we go into my first fumbling hour of the game. I will have to say that at this point, I feel pretty comfortable with the interface. But here we go.
You better do what they say. You better do what they say.
Alright, I can't seem to open any of these crates, so let's go to the guard.
Get yourself up on deck and let's keep this as civil as possible. On deck, now, prisoner.
This is where they want you. Head down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
You finally arrived, but our records don't show from where.
Okay, so we're gonna go with a orc. Resist magicka, 25%, and berserk. I think we're gonna do like a two-handed melee.
Great. I'm sure you'll fit right in. Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
There's the sigil that we know so well.
We'll go no further until you have your papers.
Yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
So this is kind of like a monk and tank combo. So I can do unarmored combat with hand-to-hand fighting, or I could do heavy armor with a two-handed blunt weapon. I threw in athletics, acrobatics, marksman just in case I need some ranged attack, this is what it's going to be.
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
The warrior, the war weird is the correct way to go. Fortify attack, 10 points.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct. Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Release
Take your papers off the table and go see Captain Gravius. There!
You've stolen for the last time.
Thief!
You've stolen for the last time.
Thief!
So it looks like they're going to let
Continue
us
through to the next building and talk to Celiscabius.
steal anything from this room.
You've stolen for the last time. You've stolen for the last time.
You take me for a fool?
You made your last mistake, thief.
A Brief History of Empire, Part 1. By Stronach Cathorsh III, Imperial Historian. Before the rule of Tiber Septim, all Tamriel was in chaos. The poet Trasis called that period of continuous unrest days and nights of blood and venom. The kings were a petty lot of grasping tyrants who fought Tiber's attempts to bring order to the land. But they were as disorganized as they were dissolute, and the strong hand of Septim brought peace forcibly to Tamriel. The year was 2E 896. The following year, the Emperor declared the beginning of a new era. Thus began the Third Era, Year Aught. For 38 years, the Emperor Tiber reigned supreme. It was a lawful, pious, and glorious age when justice was known to one and all, from serf to sovereign. On Tiber's death, it reigned for an entire fortnight as if the land of Tamriel itself was weeping. The Emperor's grandson, Pelagius, came to the throne. Though his reign was short, he was as strong and resolute as his father had been. In Tamriel, could have enjoyed a continuation of the Golden Age. Alas, an unknown enemy of the Septim family hired that accursed organization of cutthroats, the Dark Brotherhood, to kill the Emperor Pelagius, as he knelt at prayer at the temple of the One in the imperial city. Pelagius I reign lasted less than 3 years. Pelagius had no living children, so the crown imperial passed to his first cousin, the daughter of Tiber's brother Agnerith. Kintiara, former queen of Silvanar, assumed the throne as Kintira. Let's try that again. Pelagius had no living children, so the crown imperial passed to his first cousin, the daughter of Tiber's brother Agnerith. Kintira, former queen of Silvanar, assumed the throne as Kintira I. Her reign was blessed with prosperity and good harvest. She herself was an avid patroness of art, music, and dance. Kintira's son was crowned after her death, the first emperor of Tamriel to use the imperial name Uriel. Uriel I was the great lawmaker of the Septim dynasty, and a promoter of independent organizations and guilds. Under his kind but firm hand, the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild increased in prominence throughout Tamriel. His son and his successor, Uriel II, reigned for 18 years, from the death of Uriel I in 364 to Pelagius II's accession in 382. Tragically, the rule of Uriel II was cursed with blights, plagues, and insurrections. The tenderness he inherited from his father did not serve Tamriel well, and little justice was done. Pelagius II inherited not only the throne from his father, but the debt from the latter poor's financial judgments and judicial management. Pelagius dismissed all of the Elder Council and allowed only those willing to pay great sums to resume their seats. He encouraged similar acts among his vassals, the kings of Tamriel, and by the end of his 17-year reign, Tamriel had returned to prosperity. His critics, however, have suggested that any advisor possessed of wisdom but not of gold had been summarily ousted by Pelagius. This may have led to some of the troubles his son Antiochus faced when he in turn became emperor. Antiochus was certainly one of the more flamboyant members of the usual austere Septim family. He had numerous mistresses and nearly as many wives, and was renowned for the grandeur of his dress and his high good humor. Unfortunately, his reign was rife with civil war, surpassing even that of his grandfather Uriel II. The War of the Isle in 310, the Third Era, 110, 12 years after Antiochus assumed the throne, nearly took the province of Somerset Isle away from Tamriel. The united alliance of the kings of Somerset and Antiochus only managed to defeat King Orgrim of the island kingdom of Pyandonia due to a freak storm. Legend credits the Sigic order of the Isle of Artaeum with the sorcery behind the Tempest. The story of Kintira II, heiress to the father Antiochus's throne, is certainly one of the saddest tales in imperial history. Her first cousin Uriel, son of the Queen Potema of Solitude, accused Kintira of being a bastard, alluding to the infamous decadence of the imperial city during her father's reign. When this accusation failed to stop her coronation, Uriel bought the support of several disgruntled kings of High Rock, Skyrim, and Morrowind with Queen Potema's assistance. He coordinated 3 attacks on the Septim Empire. The first attack occurred in the Iliac Bay region, which separates High Rock and Hammerfell. Kintira's entourage was massacred and the Empress taken captive. For 2 years, Kintira II languished in an imperial prison believed to be somewhere in Glenpoint or Glenmoral before she was slain in her cell under mysterious circumstances. The second attack was on a series of Imperial garrisons along the coastal Morrowind Islands. The Empress's consort, Khotin Ernx, fell defending the forts. The third and final attack was a siege of the Imperial city itself, occurring after the Elder Council had split up the army to attack Western High Rock and Eastern Morrowind. The weakened government had little defense against Uriel's determined aggression and capitulated after only a fortnight of resistance. Uriel took the throne that same evening and proclaimed himself Uriel III, Emperor of Tamriel. The year was the Third Era 121, thus beginning the War of the Red Diamond, described in Volume 2 of this series.
Don't take me for a fool.
All right, again, we're gonna get out of here before the game crashes. All right, we should learn to do combat. Iron Dagger. Ooh, it's not registering attacks. Nice. Triscar, don't think I've forgotten our wager. I want this dagger sharp as a scamp's claw by morning. Gancieli. That. Letters, books, and scrolls can be read by equipping them in your inventory menu. Amazing. How do we get to our inventory? Oh, all the things that we stole, even the books, were not really stolen. This is the lesson of the thief. I wonder if I had left and come back in. Oh, we have a dagger. Let's see if we can kill him. Ah. Ooh.
Death awaits you.
Very lenient. Oh, got a wall there. We got some strafing going on. Bread. You can eat ingredients by equipping them on your character in the inventory menu. Ingredients have different properties. Some may hurt you, and some may help you. We need that. This regional liquor acts like a potion. To drink potions, equip them in the inventory menu. Equip lights and torches in the inventory menu. Lights and torches can only be used for a limited time before they burn out. Oh, look at all this bread and paper. You're just gonna take everything. What is this? Apprentice lockpick? Sweet. The firmament. The Firmament by Fafo Urki, or Ifalki, or Iful Ifal-He. The stars of Tamriel are divided into 13 constellations. 3 of them are the major constellations known as the Guardians. These are the warrior, the mage, and the thief. Each of the Guardians protects its 3 charges from the 13th constellation The Serpent. When the sun rises near one of the constellations, it is that constellation's season. Each constellation has a season of approximately 1 month. The Serpent has no season, for it moves about in the heavens, threatening one of the other constellations. The Warrior is the first Guardian constellation, and he protects his charges during their seasons. The Warrior's own season is last seed when his strength is needed for the harvest. His charges are the Lady, the Steed, and the Lord. Those born under the sign of the Warrior are skilled with weapons of all kinds, but prone to short tempers. That's us. The Mage is Guardian constellation whose season is Rain's Hand, when magicka was first used by men. His charges are the Apprentice, the Golem, and the Ritual. Those born under the Mage have more magicka and talent for all kinds of spellcasting, but are often arrogant and absent-minded. The Thief is the last Guardian constellation, and her season is the darkest month of Evening Star. Her charges are the Lover, the Shadow, and the Tower. Those born under the sign of the Thief are not typically thieves, though they take risks more often and only rarely come to harm. They will run out of luck eventually, however, and rarely live as long as those born under other signs. The Serpent wanders about in the sky and has no season. Though its motions are predictable to a degree, no characteristics are common to all who are born under the sign of the Serpent. Those born under the sign are the most blessed and the most cursed. The Lady is one of the Warrior's charges, and her season is Heartfire. Those born under the sign of the Lady are kind and tolerant. The Steed. The Steed is one of the Warrior's charges, and her season is mid-year. Those born under the sign of the Steed are impatient and always hurrying from one place to another. The Lord. The Lord's season is first seed, and he oversees all of Tamriel during the planting. Those born under the sign of the Lord are stronger and healthier than those born under other signs. The Apprentice season is Sun's height. Those born under the sign of the Apprentice have a special affinity for magic of all kinds, but are more vulnerable to magic as well. The Atronach, often called the Golem, is one of the Mage's charges. Its season is Sun's dusk. Those born under the sign are natural sorcerers with deep reserves of magicka, but they cannot generate magicka of their own. The Ritual is one of the Mage's charges, and its season is Morning Star. Those born under this sign have a variety of abilities depending on the aspects of the moons and the divines. The Lover. The Lover is one of the Thief's charges, and her season is Sun's Dawn. Those born under the sign of the Lover are graceful and passionate. The Shadow season is second. Seed. The Shadow grants those born under her sign the ability to hide in the shadows. The Tower. The Tower is one of the Thief's charges, and its season is Frostfall. Those born under the sign of the Tower have a knack for finding gold and can open locks of all kinds. Ooh, small chest. Oh, got it. Look at that. 31 gold. Take all. Nice. My character is not a thief, but as you know, we just got out of prison, so... What do we have to lose except our freedom? You now have a map menu. It shows you the name of the place you are in and your facing. Ooh, it's in the bottom right-hand corner. You see that map? Ooh, what is this? Engraved Ring of Healing. I will take that. You now have a magic menu where you can see all of your power spells and magic items. Like all menus, right-click to use your new menu and press Q to ready your active magic, then click to cast. Q. Q, Q. Alright, magic. Ring. Oh. Looks like we just carry the magic ring in our inventory. We don't actually equip it. Wooden door to Seda Neen Census and Excise Office.
Your papers, please.
Please press F to talk to captain. Select topics. Okay. Now we know. Whoa. Oh. Celis Gravius. First, let me take your identification papers. Thank you. Word of your arrival only reached me yesterday. I am Celis Gravius, but my background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. Release identification has been removed from your inventory, but I want to know about your background. Knight Errant of the Imperial Legion. You're in Morrowind. I don't know why you're here or why you were released from prison and shipped here, but your authorization comes directly from Emperor Uriel Septim VII himself. And I don't need to know any more than that. When you leave this office, you are a free man, but before you go, I have instructions on your duties. Instructions from the Emperor, so pay careful attention. This is new information and may influence my desire to steal. If Uriel Septim VII himself has set for my release, I should be obligated to some level of honor, my duties. This package came with the news of your arrival. You are to take it to Caius Cosades in the town of Balmora. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Caius Cosades. They'll know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. I also have a letter for you and a dispersal to your name. Balmora. Balmora is north of Seda Neen. The road passes Pelagiad village and Fort Pelagiad. Crosses a deep ravine, passes Fort Moonmoth, then turns west across the Odai River and into Balmora. The South Wall Corner Club is in southeast Balmora, on the east side of the river. For more detailed directions, talk to Elone the Scout at Arile's Trade House here in Seda Neen. But take my advice, you're new here. Take the Silt Strider to Balmora, fast, cheap, safe, cross the bridge, and head east. Can't miss it. What is a Salt Strider? Salt Striders carry passengers and cargo between settlements on Vardenfell. Fares depend on the distance to be traveled. Salt Striders are giant insects. A compartment for passengers and cargo is hollowed from the creature's shell, and drivers direct the beast by directly manipulating exposed organs and tissues. Silt Striders, they're not Salt Striders, they're Silt Striders, travel between Aldrune, Balmora, Seda Neen, Suran, Nisus, Moledmar, Margon, and North Landing near Vivek. The text is very small on my screen. Alt-Enter is not allowing me to make it full screen, so I'm just dealing with that right now. Goodbye. And we have some new stuff in our inventory. Ooh, Ooh, we got some more gold, 118. Package. I guess we can't really inspect that. Maybe if I put it in my hand? Oh, yes you can. It's a cipher. Package for Caius Casadas. Balmora. We have a engraved ring of healing. This is our map. Seydanine and Seydanine. And here's the world. We have some blocks here. Pelagiad. Moonmoth. Legion Fort. I'm sure the locals call it Monmouth. Balmora is our destination. Balmora. Do I steal that? Let's see what happens.
You've stolen for the last time. You've stolen for the last time. You've stolen for the last time.
Is this stuff actually going in my inventory? That's what matters here. I don't think it is. Silver candlestick. Silverware plate. Yeah, it's not going in my inventory, so it doesn't matter. Joke's on me. Goodbye, Celis Gravius. We're going this way. I don't know which way we came in. Press J to use your journal and review what you've been told. You should probably check out Ariel's Trade House up on the left. You're on your own. Good luck. That's a video game for you right there. You're on your own. Good luck. Census and Excise office is where we're leaving. That one's locked. Hypha fascia. You're on your own. Good luck. Is there no jumping? Door to the lighthouse. Thaveria Vedrano.
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
You're new to Seydanine, right? I'm Thaveria Vedrano. I'm sure you have questions. Go ahead and ask. I have plenty of time. Even though she just said, hurry or go away. Let's ask about Thaveria Vedrano's services. Get food and sundries from Ariel's Trade House. That's also where you'll find anyone who offers training. Not much else in the way of services in this damp little squat. Secutius Ergala is chief agent at the Census and Excise office. Specific place? Not much here. Ariel's Trade House, the Census and Excise offices, that's the Coast Guard, 2 and a lighthouse. And that's it. Siltstrider service goes to Vivek, Balmora, Nisus, In Saran, the road goes north past Pelagiad to Balmora and Cast to Vivek and Cast to Vivek and Southcast to Ebencart. Background. I am the very Vedrano commoner. Latest rumors. I heard there's been some trouble up at Fort Frostmoth. Never heard of it? It's on an island called Solstein, north of Vardenfell. Solstein? That's the frozen island up to the north, right? Sounds awful to me. If you're looking to get there, you might check for transportation and cool. I've heard that the local tax collector, Processus Vitellius, is missing. No surprise, really. He wasn't well liked around here. Processus Vitellius. Little advice. Best bet if you're new here is to hook up with one of the Imperial guilds. Fighters Guild or Mages Guild. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You'll get discounts on training and services, and if you need work, they know where to find it. A little secret. You're an Outlander, maybe you don't know about the kinds of Daedric ruins we have here in Morrowind. Daedra cults worship the bad Daedra. You can learn more about that at the temple. Anyway, long ago, before the temple put a stop to it, people used to worship bad Daedra, Molag Bal, Malakoth, Shilgoroth, and Mehrunis Dagon at Daedra shrines, but lately, since the Empire came in, some people have taken up worshipping the bad Daedra at these old sites, and I warn you, these are dangerous places. I think that's it. Thank you, Thaveri Vedrano, for your information. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I don't want to hurt you. She's got me cornered. What do I do? I can't get out.
I have you.
You do. Why turn me into the police? I don't want to kill you. Okay, this. I'm gonna run upstairs. I was just looking at that lantern. I didn't know it was yours. She gonna chase me outside? That was not good. I did not make a friend. This is pretty cool. A lighthouse. Oh. She did not de-aggro. The Wraith's Wedding Dowry by Volthagora Yamwort. Translated by Apthorn. The Wraith's Wedding. Let's take that. And we're already in trouble, right? We're gonna take all these. I'm sorry. I don't want to fight.
You will die.
You know what? I'm questioning her attitude here. I'm a giant orc, and she's just like, okay, I'm gonna try to beat you up, melee style. I mean, I'm a big dude. I'm gonna take some of that scuttle. Yep. We're gonna take all that. I'm gonna take all of that. Alright, we're out of here. Oh, the temptation to be a thief is just insane. all that time in prison.
Any time now.
All right, guard. A little advice. Don't fight when you're tired. Don't try to cast spells when you're tired. You'll fail much more often when you're tired. That's why veterans always carry a couple of restore fatigue potions for an emergency. If someone attacks you first, you have the right to defend yourself. If someone doesn't attack you first, you're going to break the law if you attack him. Preserve the peace. That's their job. Solstheim. A terrible place, I've heard. There's a boat from Cool if you have any reason to go. Any rumors? The same rumor about Croesus Vitellius being missing? Thank you for the information, guard. Fargoth.
Let's hear it.
What do you want to hear? Whoa. You seem interesting. Oh, a little advice, sure. Now here, take the Silt Strider to Vivek or Balmora, fast and cheap. No trouble with wild animals and smugglers and bandits and outlaws. Go see Darvame Laren over at the Strider port, over the bridge and cast along the water, and tell her Madonius Nucius sent you. I'm a commoner. I do whatever needs doing. Cooking, cleaning, building, baking, making, breaking, and, by your accent, I can tell you are an outlander. Since you're new to these parts, perhaps you'd like me to share a little local lore. Yeah, sure. It won't let me. I'm going to admire him. Say, straight and sharp, orc. Maybe I should say stay. Admire, fail. Goodbye.
What was that?
Sounds like your stomach growling, I don't know. Fargoth. Are you the one that the boat dropped off? Odd to see a boat arrive at the time of day. At that time of day, hope the Imperials treated you okay. I swear they took my ring. I swear one of the guards has it. I had it last week before their weekly Let's Shake Down Fargoth ritual. An engraved healing ring, family heirloom of mine. You haven't seen it, have you? Yes I have. Here it is. You found it. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. You are now my favorite friend. I'll be sure to tell the others, especially my friend Arile, who runs the train house here. Go see him. He'll be happy to see you now. Your journal has been updated. Engraved ring of healing has been removed from your inventory. A little advice. Don't head for the backcountry until you're ready. I did, and they took my stuff, and I count myself lucky. There's plenty of work. Good opportunities near the towns down here in the southwest. But Red Mountain? No way. Outcast with the Telvanni? Not yet. Outcast? I'm not sure what they mean. Not yet. Up north in Shiogorod? Just toss your stuff in the water and slit your throat. It'll be much faster and less painful. If you're thinking, oh, that's what it said. Okay. Eventually, I'll get used to these dialogues and I'll figure out what's
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings and salutations to you, Fargoth. We'll see you later. It's a locked door. Terrorize Girvane's house.
I'm waiting.
Oh, go ahead. You're waiting on me? Idrele Rathrion? Well, hello, Mac. I'm Indrele Rathrion. This is Satanine Swamp Fever, capital of the world. I suppose you're wondering what's going on here. I can tell you where the services are. There aren't many, and I can tell you the latest rumors unless you already hear them. Yes, I've already heard them. Yep. 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 It pays to take it slow when you first come to Morrowind. When you talk to folks, keep an eye on their dispositions. They let you know if you don't like them. They let you know if you don't like them. And it's smart to get on a flaw's good side before you ask a favor. We're gonna go in this wooden door to terrorize Gervain's house. You must be Terruize.
My time is precious, so make it quick.
I can tell that I am annoyed by your impatience. Go ahead and ask. I have plenty of time. They all say they have plenty of time after they're patiently requesting you to engage them. Some rough customers come into town now and then for supplies. I think they might be smugglers and bandits holed up locally. Be doing a public service to clean them up, and might find yourself some nice loot in the bargain. Some workable advice? And we read that. Okay, that's it. We're gonna. Whoa. Hey. Is it because I'm an orc? I mean, once they start talking to me, they kind of like me, but till then.
Traveler.
Okay, I'm gonna leave. You guys are weirding me out a little. It's locked. Ooh, it's the trade house. Now, before we go to the trade house, there's a book that we've not read. I'm gonna hit I for inventory, which doesn't work, so I'm gonna right click. Miscellaneous. Firmament. We read that. Okay, I think. Wait, I have the paper lantern though. Here it is, the Wraith's Wedding Party. These icons are so small on my screen. The poets are right. There is something life-changing about being in love, said Kajna Grobminfin, sometimes called the Wraith. I haven't wanted to rob anyone or anything in weeks. Why, the other day I saw the door wide open at a wealthy merchant's house, but my mind was fully occupied with what I should wear on my wedding day. You have been out of the right society for very long now, frowned her friend Cargill approvingly. You've never told me what happened to your first husband. You know, the one the shaman gave you. Torn apart by ash ghouls, smiled Kipkajna genially. It was rather saddish, but I know nothing like that would happen to Wadberg. No life of adventure for him. He's practically an Imperial. In fact, he is one. Did I tell you how we met? Hundreds of times, grumbled Cargill, reaching for his flagon. He was your jailer. He refused you food until you promised to marry him. Have you ever heard of anything so madly romantic in all your life? Sighed Kipkajna, and then grew serious. I was going to say that I hope my old friends will wish me well, but as old Bosriel used to say, there's no point in hoping for what cannot be. We'll leave with Imperial Knights for Balmora immediately after the wedding, but as long as we're in Dagon Fell, the gang will find some way of disrupting my love life and bring me back to the light. I know it. As the days approached towards the Wraith's wedding day, there was certainly something sinister in the air that Kipkajna could smell when she was not transported by heady bliss. Dark figures seemed to shift in the shadows and disappear when approached. She recognized the clothing of some beggars near Wadberg's cottage as costumes, but the mendicants hurried away before she could recognize which of their old gang was stalking her. But these moments of apprehension were few. Kipkajna was truly happy, making arrangements for the ceremony to be performed at the very dungeon where Wadberg had imprisoned her. Her father was long since dead, another victim of the Ash Ghouls. But her fiancé's commander volunteered to act in his behalf. Of course, Kipkajna had to supply her own dowry. She spent every last mark of her savings of ill-gotten gain to buy her beloved a truly wonderful present. The wedding was set for the stroke of midnight, as is Orc tradition. Oh, it is an Orc tale. The handmaidens, wives of imperial officers, were busily sewing her into her gown of red velvet and fine gold filigree in the mid-morning. Dulcetta, one of the handmaidens, remarked that she had heard that Kipkajna had bought Wadberg a truly beautiful gift for her dowry. Let me show it to you, Kipkajna giggled, dashing from the room half-dressed to her hidden alcove. The present had been stolen. The women were horrified, but the Wraith found herself merely irritated, not surprised. This was truly the old gang's style. They knew that a wedding ceremony without a dowry was marked as unlucky. She asked her handmaidens to finish dressing her quickly while she pondered what the burglars would have done with her treasure. The whole region was honeycombed with secret lairs and abandoned sites thieves used to store their loot. There were obvious places, of course, but after much reflection, she thought of where she would have it put under similar circumstances. Once the handmaids had finished, Kipkajna bade them to make certain that the ceremony went on as scheduled, and not to fret as she might be a little late. She wrapped herself in a shawl to protect her gown from dungeon dust and set off for the shrine of Malkath. The Wraith had never before attempted to rob her own friends, and though she was peeved at them for trying to ruin her happiness, she had no interest in hunting them physically. Her style was to avoid conflict, though she knew it would be inevitable. The lessons her mentor Cargill had given her had helped her avoid the lances and blades of guards and Imperial Knights over the years. Now she would see if they would allow her to survive a den of thieves and the unknown dangers of the shrine, without, most importantly, ruining her dress. The desolate place was so empty as she delved into it that she feared she might have made a miscalculation. It was not until she found the small room hidden down a long corridor that she knew she was at the right place, and that it was well suited for an ambush. She grabbed the chest with her treasure within and turned to face the assault. Two of her old gang, Yoram and Yori, the Red Guard twin brother and sister, were outside the door as she came from the room. They knew the Wraith better than to taunt her and immediately attacked. Yoram struck out with a left thrust of his blade while Yori sought to rush her. The Wraith neatly sidestepped Yori while dropping her weight to her rear left leg, shifting her right shoulder to the left to slip past Yoram's strike. The twins crashed into one another, and Kipkajna passed swiftly on. Almost immediately, she was set on by Argonian Binyar, his mace whistling through the air at her hand. They had never much liked one another, The wraith snapped into a duck, so the mace whacked with a tremendous clamor against the stone wall. Binyar was thrown off balance, giving her a few seconds lead, hurrying up the passage. Ahead, she could smell the fresh night air. The last of her dowry's defenders was Sorgath, an orc with whom she had shared a brief romance. It was he who Kapajna knew had masterminded the theft. In a way, and in context, she thought his devotion to her misery was rather sweet. At the moment, though, she was most concerned with avoiding his barbed axe that seemed ideal for breaking her dresses, fine stitchwork, and the flesh beneath. Bending her knees slightly, bobbing to avoid strikes to the head, weaving her head to confuse Sorgath of her next move, shuffling her feet arrhythmically, the wraith made an impossible target. She ducked inside his thrusts, sidestepped his swings, and then sidestepped his thrust and ducked his swings. As erratic as she tried to make her defensive moves, Sorgath still kept pace with her, refusing to budge from his position at the dungeon outlet. Midnight was coming, and the wraith finally decided that she must end the confrontation. When Sorgath swung out next, she sidestepped to her left, swayed down, and ducked her head, so the axe whistled over her right shoulder. In that instant, his right side was exposed, and she reluctantly smashed the chest hard into his torso. There was not enough time for Kapajna to see if she had killed him or merely knocked him unconscious. In truth, she thought of nothing else but rushing to her wedding ceremony. And precisely at midnight, Wadwarg and Kapajna were united together. He was delighted with her dowry gift, a fine suit of armor that would make him the envy of the imperial jailers. Even more, he was enchanted by his wife's tale of retrieving it from the shrine of Lakath. Did it occur to you to put on the armor when you knew that it was an ambush? He asked. I didn't want to dent your present, she replied, between kisses, and I certainly didn't want to wrinkle my gown. That was the Wraith's wedding dowry. That was a good little story. I wish I could have picked it up just to read it and not automatically thieve it. But I think that's what happened, is I automatically thieved it. All right, we are just past the hour mark, so I think I'm going to stop here before we go in to the tavern, the trade house, Ariel's trade house. And that's it. Part of this playthrough is I need to get my voice in shape. I haven't been talking a lot lately, and it's kind of a therapy for me a little bit. So I appreciate your time and attention, and comment if you like if you do. All that sort of stuff. I know very few of you will get this far, but it's good to hear from you if you did.